welcome to Sprouts of Science YouTube channel. Myself Sai Kumar Amawat. So in last video we have discussed about the introduction of the lesson Living World, right? And about the scientist Ernest Mayr. And also we discussed about species area relationship, and we also discussed about nomenclature in detail, right? Now in this video we can discuss majorly about what is meant by taxonomy and systematics, and also we can discuss about taxonomic categories. By completion of all these, the lesson will be over. Okay. Now we go with the topic. Our new topic is taxonomy, right? Taxonomy. So the definition of the word taxonomy is very important. So what is the definition? Let I tell you. So the definition is the branch of biology, that deals with the study of principle and procedure of classification. So the branch of biology that deals with the study of principle and procedure of the classification is called taxonomy. What I am telling? I am telling about principle as well as procedure of what? Classification. That branch of biology is refers to as taxonomy. Have you understood? So what is the principle here? Principle is nothing but identifying the characters. After identifying the characters, you want to nomenclature that. After nomenclaturing that, you want to classify them. That is the principle. And procedure is nothing but following one by one step. So following one by one step in a particular way, then you can be able to classify the given organism to you. I hope you have understood. For example, I talk. Actually, in taxonomy, there is a 4 bases, which means 4 steps are present. So what are the 4 steps means? The first step is called as characterization. What is that? Characterization. The second step is called as identification. The third step is called as nomenclature. The last step is called as classification. These 4 steps are the basis of the taxonomy. What they are called? Basis of the taxonomy. In the last class, we have indirectly discussed about the term nomenclature, how many types are there, who proposed it, how we want to do that, what are the rules are get followed. Everything we have discussed in last class. Now we focus about characterization, identification, and majorly about classification, right? For example, if I given an X organism to you, and I said you to classify the X organism, how you want to do? Here you wanted to applicable the taxonomy. You want to applicable the term taxonomy, which means you wanted to follow the basis of the taxonomy one by one, right? The first step is called characterization. In characterization, you want to note the characters. For example, the noted characters are like this. So external ears, mammary glands, and skin has hair on the skin. So these are the characters. If you have identified, you have noted, then you wanted to identify the similar organism which has the following characters. And you want to name the organism. For this X organism, something name which is in Latin, you want to name. After naming that, what you want to do, you wanted to classify. The last step of the taxonomy, you want to classify. How you can classify means by seeing the characters, by following the characters. If you see the characters, there is the external ears, right? And there is a mammary glands, right? And there is a hairs on the skin. All these 3 characters are visualized in the group of animals called mammals. What are mammals? In the group of organisms called mammals, you can find these 3 characters. About 3 characters are identified. By this way, we can classify जो कुछ X organism is given. X organism is what is given to you. You can simply say it is a mammal. If you take example, let you name the X organism Homo sapien. क्या था वो? Homo sapien. So now you can do that. So Homo sapien, we are the Homo sapiens. If you take the female, let you take the female one. In the female, there is external ears, right? There is a mammary glands, right? There is a hairs on the skin, right? Everything was possible. So all the characters are present, and it is a mammal, and its name called Homo sapien. Like this, you wanted to do. This is called taxonomy, and these are the basis of taxonomy. These are the steps of the taxonomy. Through following these steps, through following this procedure, you wanted to classify a certain organism. I hope you clearly understood, right? This is called taxonomy, the branch of biology that deals with the study of principle and procedure of classification, right? The basis are characterization, identification, nomenclature, and classification. I hope you understood about what is meant by characterization, identification. If you talk one more definition of the word identification, so it was not mentioned in NCERT, but remember that is. So whether the given organism is already known or entirely new. So this is the definition is whether the given organism is already known or entirely new, which means that जो कुछ organism X दिया आपको, we know that organism, it's a mammal, right? We know the organisms. So by seeing the characters or by identifying the characters, we just place the X organism into the mammal. So if are not known to you, and you can follow the Wikipedia like that. So this is about the term taxonomy. Okay, now we go to another term, interesting term, that is called systematics. Okay, systematics is also very important one. And what is the difference between the taxonomy and systematics also we can discuss. Okay, later we can discuss about taxonomic categories. So if you talk about the term systematics, or that we are discussing systematics. Okay, what is the definition of the word systematics? So the definition of the word systematic, that is definition. The definition is study of. So the branch of biology that deals with the study of different type of organisms and their diversities and the relationship between the organisms or among the organisms. Among is better word. Why? Because between is compared between two organisms. Among means a group of organisms. You see here, systematic is nothing but the branch of biology, right? It's a branch of biology that deals with the study of different organisms. So different type of organism we can learn here, we can study here. And the diversity is nothing but how they will live, how they can survive, how they can acquire the food. That is nothing but diversity, right? Okay, and relationship among the organism. For example, if you talk, there is a plant and there is a cow. These two are the organisms, right? Plant is one organism and cow is one type of organism. They both represents the diversity on the earth. This both represents the diversity on the earth. Diversity is nothing but different type of organisms on the earth is nothing but diversity. I am talking about plant and cow. They both on the earth. So here plant is act as the producer, right? Plant is act as the producer. Well, जो कुछ cow है, it act as the herbivore, right? Herbivore. So here these plant act as the feed for the cow, right? Or the cow feeds the plant. Cow feeds the plant. Cow which is present, it is an animal and it is called the herbivore which will feed the plant. Right? This is a relationship among them. It is a producer and it is a herbivore. This is a relationship, and this relationship also read under the branch called systematics. Very important one. Now come to one. So जो कुछ word systematics है, actually this word derived from the Latin language. Which language? Latin language, from a word from a word called systeme. What is that word? Systeme. System is a Latin word. From this word, the word systematic was derived. Systematics was derived. And what is the meaning of the word systeme in Latin? If you talk the definition of the systeme, the definition is systematic arrangement of the organisms. If you arrange the organism in a systematic order, that is called as systematics. I think you have understood. System is nothing but the systematic arrangement of the organism. System is nothing but systematic arrangement of the organism. जो कुछ was systematics है, it was derived from the Latin language from the word called system. Right? Yeah. This is about systematics. And one more thing, the first scientist who used the term systematics or systeme is the scientist Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus is the first scientist who used the term systeme. That is as his publication title. So Carolus Linnaeus he was published a book. That book title was Systema Naturae. What is that? Systeme Naturae. Very important the title name, that is Systema Naturae. The book written by the publication was printed by whom? That is Carolus Linnaeus. That is the Systema Naturae. Very important one, right? Now, what is the difference between the words systematics and taxonomy? क्या difference था? Okay, if you talk the difference between the systematics and taxonomy, I will say you like this. So जो कुछ systematics था, if you study about systematics, the systematics will be take you in the account of evolutionary relationship. क्या ले जाते हो तुमको? Systematics take you in the account of systematics takes you in an account of evolutionary relationship. Okay, what is the meaning of this statement? If you talk about the meaning of the statement, systematics जो कुछ है, it will takes you in the evolutionary relationship. Evolutionary relationship is nothing but phylogenetic relationship. क्या relationship था? Phylogenetic relationship. What the ancestral relationship? For you talk, one organism is there, exorganism. A exorganism का evolutionary relationship will be studied under the term systematics. If I talk the difference between the systematics and taxonomy, now the word systematics, right, is equals to taxonomy plus phylogeny. So what is in the systematics? Systematics here nothing but taxonomy plus phylogeny. If I talk systematics, that equals to taxonomy plus phylogeny. This phylogeny is nothing but evolutionary relationships. What is nothing but phylogeny? Evolutionary relationship. Okay, to classify organism. So in modern taxonomy, we can consider the phylogeny also. I hope you understood. Chalo. This is the broad discussion about the term systematics. The systematics, first the definition is a branch of science or branch of biology which deals with the study of different type of organism, their diversities and the relationship among them. And the word systematics was derived from the Latin language from the word called systeme. What is the meaning of systeme? Means systematic arrangement of the organisms. Okay, the scientist called Carolus Linnaeus first used the term systeme as his publication title Systema Naturae, right? And जो कुछ systematics है, if you study about the systematics, it will take you in the account of evolutionary relationship. If you talk the relationship between the taxonomy as well as the systematics, then systematics is equals to taxonomy plus phylogeny. Here phylogeny is nothing but called evolutionary relationships. Okay. Now we talk about classification. What is classification? Okay, basis of classification. What is the necessity of classification? So if you talk about classification, the definition is given in NCERT. Very important. The classification, the definition, that is grouping of the organism grouping of the organism into convenient categories based on the easily observable characters. So here this is called classification. Classification nothing but what is the classification means? Grouping of the organism में क्या करना पड़ेगा? ग्रुप करना पड़ेगा. So into convenient categories किन्ने बेस कर करना पड़ेगा? Based on the easily observable characters. जो कुछ characters है they may be phylogenetic, they may be internal, they may be external, they may be morphological, everything we can consider all the characters. So here based on the considering characters we can divide the taxonomy into modern taxonomy and ancient taxonomy. In olden days how the taxonomy will be done and how in modern days the taxonomy will be done, let me do. So basis of modern taxonomy and basis of olden taxonomy. So if you talk the basis of modern taxonomy, we can consider three major features. The first feature is called as external and internal features. So external and internal features. The second one is called as processes. So developmental processes and ecological information. And the third one is called as structure of the cell. These are comes under the basis of the modern taxonomy. The basis of modern taxonomy are external and internal features and developmental processes and ecological information and structure of the cell. These three characters these three features are basis of the modern taxonomy. You can able to add the phylogeny also, which means evolutionary relationship. If I talk about olden days, how the taxonomy is done means, so the taxonomy is done based on the use of organism के use के base कर in olden days the taxonomy is done. What the uses means? The first use is the food, the second one is the shelter, and the third one is the clothes. So जो कुछ organisms है they are used as a food, they are classified into a group. And जो कुछ organisms है वो जो shelter देते हैं they are classified into one certain group. And जो कुछ organism को clothes देते हैं they are classified into certain group, like this. In olden days based on the use of organism, in modern days based on external and internal features, developmental process and ecological information. Here developmental process is nothing but whether the organism is indirectly developed or directly developed. What is mean by indirect and direct development means I will explain in animal kingdom. So if you talk here, indirect development includes the larval stage, while direct development does not include the larval stage. That is the major difference. And ecological information is how they are termed with the environment, how they are linked with the environment. And come to structure of this cell. I hope you knew the difference between the modern taxonomy and the olden taxonomy. Now, what is the necessity of the classification? Classification करने का necessity क्या है? If we talk about necessity of the classification, so the major necessity of the classification that is, so for a particular biologist to remember all the organism characters, there are 1.7 to 1.8 million organisms, right? I have already said you in the first of the class only 1.7 to 1.8 organisms are till now discovered. So to remember all the characters of those organisms, it is impossible, right? It is impossible. इस कारण से क्या किया? Classification किया. इस कारण से क्या किया? Classification किया. To remember all the characters of the organism, but a particular biologist, the classification is very necessary. Why? Because to remember all the characters of 1.7 to 1.8 million organism, it is impossible, right? This is the necessity of the classification. Necessity of the classification. Okay, I hope the time is over nearly. So 20 minutes I have explained this topic only. Okay, there is a taxonomy categories also. I thought to explain this video only, but it's going to be take very long. So this why I will explain taxonomy categories in next video, because it's very broad one. Okay, next video we can meet again and we can discuss the most interesting topic about taxonomy category and very important regarding NEET exam. Okay, there is mostly about examples only. You want to remember the examples, that's it, then the class will be over. Okay, tomorrow the lesson for the first lesson also ends and I will explain you chemistry also. So one lesson chemistry 2 also. Okay, keep subscribing the channel and watch and share the video to many of the students. Thank you.